Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da-dum. Bum-ba-da-da-dum. Bum-ba-da-da-dum. Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Hello, travelers of the internet. Welcome back to Guardian Studios. Or if you are new to the channel, hey there, and welcome to you. My name is JGuard01, and I am your host, your guide, and your humble bard into the worlds virtual and fantastical. And I am very pleased to welcome you all back to the channel, or in the case of newcomers, welcome you fresh to the Guardian Studios experience. Hello, Sadmime, Ellison. Good to see you both. Glad you can both make it to the stream. How you doing? You doing all right? I sure hope so. I hope you're doing all right. Let me go ahead and take a moment to say thank you for showing up. Good to see you after a while, Sadmime. It has been a little while since we've seen you. Hey, Leo, you showed up too, man. Good to see you, and thank you for posting the rules, my dude. Always appreciate you doing that. Always appreciate you doing that. Let's get these building materials out of this barrel. But right now, that barrel is our main placeholder for where we're going to put all of the crops that we are going to be farming in the under garden. So, gotta make sure that that is easily accessible. Hey, I totally understand being busy with work, Sadma. I totally understand that. Alright, I want to compress the coal into blocks of coal, and then load them up. Load in the iron ore, or raw iron, I guess I should say. Duck back into the house, and go pick up those other items that we tossed out of the one barrel. Do not want to risk that stuff despawning. I hadn't really thought about that when I initially threw that stuff out. Wow, that is so cool. Look at how cool it is to look through this little doorway and see a bunch of green in there. That is so cool. We are going to have to fix up the ceiling of that room, though, because the ceiling, it don't look so good. No, it don't. It don't look so good at all. So we're definitely going to have to fix that. We are going to have to, we're going to have to give that the, Hobbit hole enhancement. But we're not going to do that right this moment, because we have another task at hand. Today's focus is going to be on the barn below, which is another chamber like the Undergarden that will supply us with all of the space we need for all of our animals. That's right. From crops to animals, the farming needs to be prepared for. We will at some point be changing out the ceiling here, but first I want to get the barn below prepared for. I want to dig it out, make sure we've got the room we need for it, and then we will worry about roof ceilings for both chambers. Of course, work on these projects is all going to depend on my pickaxe being able to last long enough to make it all work. I may need to enchant a backup pick. Now that I stop and think about it, that's actually not a bad idea. A second pickaxe might be a good idea to have fully enchanted. Hello, Union! Good to see you, pal. Glad you can make it to the stream, dude. How you doing? You doing alright? I hope so. Okay, I do not have the lapis in here anymore. That's good to know. I've forgotten all about the fact that I'd moved it. Eventually, we're going to have to move all of this sugarcane that's out here so that it's no longer out here, if we can. Because otherwise, it's just going to be a waste. It's wasted potential if we don't make use of it. Alright, so pickaxe, lapis, let's go make use of this stuff real quick. Alright, Union. Alright. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you were saying there, Union. I was not aware you were getting accused of anything anywhere, but I am sorry that you were, and I hope that that situation gets resolved ASAP and that people stop giving you grief for whatever caused that situation. Hello, Dinoful! Good to see ya! Yeah, I get you. I get you, Union. No worries, man. No worries. Man, we got a few people in here today, and that is cool. Can I just say y'all are cool? Very cool. Hey! Look at that. That's almost a perfect backup pick. Ha! Alrighty. Hey, I'm good with that. But I need somewhere to put the one that I've been using. Do I have any leather in here? I could make an item frame. Ah, sorry, Union. Let me see here. I need just one. Aha! A piece of leather. That's what I need, so I can make an item frame to put my really good pickaxe away for now. I'm gonna go ahead and put it. You know what? Let's just put it right here. We'll put my end game fortune pick there. We'll use this efficiency 4 one for the time being. I would rather be using my end game fortune pick, but got it, Union. I'll see if I can invite this other one to the Discord server. Just fair warning, and maybe a little bit before I do so. Got a lot to do. Got a lot of things going on with my mind, and a lot of things going on with my streaming and stuff. So bear in mind, it might be a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, let's see here. Back into the room I go. Or back into the hole I go. And I take the fact that you say it that way as quite the compliment, Union. Hey, if a little time on the channel, a little time in the stream helps you feel better, then that proves I'm doing my job well. Providing entertainment and relief from the craziness of life. Because if you don't think life is crazy, then you really are crazy. Life can be crazy. Or it can be a dream, as the song goes. But that's just what it could be. Life could be a dream, but it can also be crazy. It can be a crazy wild ride. You never know what it's gonna be until it decides it's ready to be. Well, thank you, Union. Thank you. To answer your question, Dynaful, there is a Discord that one of the viewers of the channel, one of the ongoing long-term viewers of the channel, went ahead and made in honor of Guardian Studios. If you would like to join it at some point, then you can maybe get in contact with someone who's already on the Discord. I unfortunately cannot post a link to it in the chat, but if you keep checking in on the About page, I might be posting the link to that Discord later today so that people on this channel can go and take a look. Bear in mind, it is technically an unofficial server. It is not one that I myself created. It is one that a fan created for the channel, but I do look in on it now and then, and I always post to it when I'm about to do a stream. So it might help to further ensure that you don't miss any of my streams or any videos. Whoop. Alright. Gotta make sure all the building blocks that we break down, anything that we break in here, we've got to make sure we preserve it, because you never know when you might need a whole boatload of cobblestone. You never know when you may need it. You can assume that you won't need it, but the moment you make that assumption, oh shoot, we needed it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I need it! little SpongeBob reference there. Not a big fan of the newer seasons of that show, but I will admit, the classic episodes were pretty enjoyable for the most part. Oh, there were a handful that were just no good, but most of the time they were pretty decent. Very, very true, Union. Very true indeed. Exactly the reason why we can constantly collect all the cobble that we can. Any cobblestone that we get from digging out our hobbit hole or working on any other projects, we put away for later use. Simply because it is exceptionally useful. And it's one of the two easiest blocks to get a lot of. The other kind of block that it's easy to get a lot of course, being wood. Hey, anybody hear about how we have a name finally for the next update to the game? They're calling it the Copper Age. And you know what? I like that title. I like that title for the next update. It's simple, it's direct, and it says exactly what we are getting. A new age for the copper ore. Full of awesome new function and features, and I like it. Yeah, it kind of does, but let us not forget that it is, in fact, Minecraft that inspired the Create mod. And it was to say that one day we won't have functionality like Create in Minecraft as something that we can use. My opinion is, one day Mojang would be very smart to give us mechanical infrastructure similar to, maybe not the same as, but similar to what we find in the Create mod over on Java Edition. I think that would be really good to have one day. I think it would be smart on their part to do something like that, and it would be really cool to have that kind of functionality in vanilla. But I'm not going to count on that. Not anytime soon. This is true. This is true, Union. We do have the Auto Crafter, which does give us some of the functions that a lot of mods try to add over on the Java Edition. And it's something that a lot of people were skeptical we would ever have the like of. A lot of players, a lot of content creators focused on Minecraft would have been skeptical once upon a time that we would ever have a mechanism that could automatically craft whatever we wanted it to craft. And yet, here we are. We have the Auto Crafter. It's not quite what some people were expecting, I'm sure, but it is way more than I ever expected us to have for automatic crafting. And I'm glad we have it, because it is really cool and really simple too. Yeah, I'll admit, I haven't really used the Autocrafter very much, so I'm still figuring out how to use it in most cases. But when I have used it, it's been pretty simple, and it's pretty effective. Of course, the only time I've ever actually used it was back on Gyros when we needed a snowball maker for the Winter Harbor build. I miss that world. But what we've got going on in this world is awesome so far. The Hobbit hole is coming along great. It was the last kind of build that I intended to build on Gyros. And here we are, making it, and I think we're doing even better than we were doing on the other world. Pistons. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. A piston is pretty simple, and yet knowing how to make it work is a darn good feeling, I will admit. If anybody's wondering why I'm leaving that patch of dirt over there, it's because most of this room is going to end up being covered with dirt. At least on the floor. I hear a witch. That's not good. That's very not good. Yes, indeed, Union. This is going to be the barn below. This is where we're going to have all of our animal needs taken care of. Actually, now that I think about it, I can probably remove that for the moment. I'm kind of thinking we might lower the floor in here by a block, raise the ceiling by a block, and then have dirt in the middle of the room, or we're going to have grass down here, basically, and we're going to make sure that it spreads into different sections, where we're going to have cows, pigs, sheep, and yes, chickens. Although the chickens we might compact into an automatic chicken maker, aka an automatic chicken cooker. Which basically means getting a whole boatload of chickens together in a small, tight space, as many as we can get, and then once we have all those chickens in one small hole, we make sure they're sitting on top of a hopper, so that when they lay eggs, all those eggs go into a storage system that pumps them out into a chamber where the new chickens wait to be cooked. Why? Because that's passive food. That's passively made food. But we'll see. We'll see. The plan could change. The plan can always change. I make no permanent decisions. Unless I'm placing Bedrock, which I don't do. Because I play survival, not creative. Though I wouldn't mind playing creative at some point. I have no idea what you're talking about there, Union. I'm a little confused. Alright, how big is this chamber? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 long by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Alright, I'd like it to be kind of a squared off room in the main area. I haven't seen the Minecraft movie, Union. I've seen a handful of little clips, but I have not seen the full movie, so I have no idea what goes on in the movie. Beyond the thing they've already made very clear, that the piglins are a problem. Yeah, I've just seen it plastered all over the place so much that that's part of why I am like, I'm not even sure I want to watch this thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the movie's got its funny parts, but when you see something constantly advertised and plastered all over the place, it gets to a point where you're just not sure if you want to bother, because you get tired of hearing about it. But I'm sure eventually I'll end up looking into it. Yeah? I'm a little more inclined to take a look at it at some point, but I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to really do so. We shall see. We shall see. Alright, so what I'm thinking of doing here is basically the reversal of what we did in here. In here, we've raised the ceiling by a block. We're going to end up having to adjust the design to accommodate, but... Ah! That's an interesting idea, Union. That's an interesting idea. I hadn't actually considered that. I might do that for the area where the animals are actually going to be. Now that I think about it, that's actually not a bad idea at all. I may do that. Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all. Well, thankfully, I've already got some mangrove propagules stored away that we could use to farm a bunch. But it would take a little bit of time to farm those up. Because while we do have the propagules, the trees are a pain to work with. And I'm sure anybody who's tried to farm mangrove wood can tell you it is a pain. Especially when you gotta deal with those roots. The mangrove roots. I can't stand having to deal with that stuff. Yeah. Breaking down the leaves, getting the propagules, not a big deal. The problem is we have to wait before harvesting the propagules for them to actually grow. That's something that bothers me about the mangrove trees, as opposed to any other tree. You have to give it some time before you go and harvest the propagules, so that they have time to grow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I've got everything centered in regards to these torches. Help spread the light around to keep things from spawning down here that shouldn't. Logic does not always work with the Minecraft world. That's all I can say in response to that, Union. Logic is not always applicable to the way the Minecraft world behaves. That is so satisfying. I did not expect that to be that satisfying. Was that satisfying to anybody else? Because it sure as heck was to me. Oh my gosh. That was cool. That was cool. That was extremely mind-teasing, and I love it. I loved it. Alright. Birch saplings. We need to do a quick oak tree breakdown, and then we can plant some birch saplings to replace them. Because I'm running low on birch, and I need that stuff for the rest of the hobbit hole. The garden below may or may not need it, but the rest of the hobbit hole does. Gotta remember not to break any trees that have beehives on them. I don't have silk touch, so I can't move those hives. I wish I could. But right now, the only thing trying to move those hives would do is break the hives and make the bees angry. You do not want to make the bees angry. You make the bees angry. That is very true, Union. That is very true. We can make our own forests if we so choose. And that's kind of what I've been doing for farming oak and birch. I make a little forest up here on top of the hobbit hole. Wait a minute. Okay, no hive. Good. I love the LA. Such a helpful little guy. Granted, there are things I would do to improve it, but I love the LA. Such a helpful little fella. Thanks again, little fella. Wow, we got way more oak logs than I realized we were getting. Look at our little friend up there, scooping up all the stuff. You know, I should give him a friend out there to help him scoop stuff up. I just get that feeling like I ought to. Well, off you go, little guy. Go get me some wood. Yeah, that's what I thought. I know there's some out there that needs to be collected. Hmm. Alright, with all that oak harvested, let's go ahead and start planting some birch trees. Hmm. Hmm. Whoops. Hmm. You know, I'm almost thinking that in the process of making this, I could set up the sheep as a passive wool farm. Problem is, this is too little room to do that. Unless I stack them up too high. Hmm. That actually would work out pretty good, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm getting some ideas here. Yeah, I'm liking the idea I've got going right now. Question. How many dispensers have I picked up from... Alright, I picked up 2 other dispensers that I haven't put to use yet. And we've got... Thankfully, we have got the, double dungeon grinder that we can use to get even more of the things that we need for a wool farm. More dispensers. Because to make dispensers, you need to use bows. The only limit would be that we don't have an iron farm to make the shears. Well, that does put a damper on things, doesn't it? Hey, that puts quite a damper on things indeed. That means things are gonna have to be a little bit slow at first. So how do I fix that problem? Where's the other guy? There he is. Swap out the oak for birch. Come on, let me sleep. Let me sleep! Oh. Yeah, for dispenser we need redstone dust and... Wait a minute. Oh, we got redstone dust. We can make more than enough. We would need a total of 16... dispensers, and we can already cover that pretty efficiently. So that's not too big of a deal. The only thing slowing us down at this point is waiting on the birch trees to grow so that we can put in the main walls of the work. Because I'm thinking we're going to have 2 walls in the barn below be birch. And then the other 2, I think we will end up doing the mangrove thing, like like Union suggested, because I kind of like that idea. The problem is it's going to take a little time to get the materials. Hello, Ryan! Good to see you, my dude. Glad you can make it to the stream, pal. How are you doing? You doing alright? I hope so. I'm doing pretty good, Ryan. Thank you for asking. I am. I'm doing pretty good. How are my equipment pieces doing? My equipment is doing decent, but not great. Hold it. I just had a thought. Oh no. Oh man, you had to go to the shops and you got drenched in the process? Ouch. That's no fun. Getting drenched is no fun. That's the thing that I can't stand about rain. Is when you get caught in it and you just get soaked through and it's just miserable after that. Absolutely miserable. Yeah, I had a feeling that explains why you were saying you got drenched. What am I doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I've got to go refresh my water real quick, so I'm gonna have to... Oi! Get outside, dummy! I'm gonna have to go refresh my water, so hang around, guys. I will be back in just a minute, give or take. And I'm back. Ryan, you see you got good news and bad news? Alright, well, what news? What's the good and what's the bad? Nice! A long break from the heat waves. Let me guess. The bad news is the storms are rolling in. Again. Ooh. Yep. I had a feeling it meant that there was storms coming. I didn't think it was going to be a hurricane. I'm so sorry, man. You guys have just been having a rough time of it when it comes to the weather, huh? Over there in the UK. That's a lot of lapis. Let's stick that and this dirt in here for the moment so that we don't lose any of it. This is gonna work out really well. Can already feel that. Hey, it was at that higher number for a little bit there, Ryan. It's still worth celebrating. It is still something to celebrate. Don't not celebrate it, alright? What did I come out here for? Oh, right. Mangrove. The wood that is the bane of my existence in the overworld. Oh, hi! Yo, mama. Where'd you get that piece of Oh, I bet you that lapis popped up out of the ground after we moved some things around down there. And then that guy got a hold of it. Wait a minute, I had saplings in here? Dummy. That was a dummy moment on my part. Water. Gotta be drinking water. Gotta be staying hydrated. Whoa. Look at the sugar cane. Look at all the crops. The crops are all growing beautifully. Oh, this is working out great. We got a visitor. An Enderman who I think has taken an interest in our garden. In the undergarden. I mean, as long as he's peaceful, I got no problem with him being down here. The moment he stops being peaceful, that's when the sword comes out. Go ahead and do a harvest since we're in here. This is a situation where I kind of wish you could have pets and companions patrol an area, you know? It'd be nice if we could set down a certain kind of block or something, and it would cause a specific pet or companion to stay within the area those blocks define. That way, we could have allays down here all set to pick up items from different crops, and they would just keep picking them up, and as soon as we come in, they would give us everything that had been collected. And then if we go to leave, they don't try to leave with us. They just stick around. Does that make any sense to anybody? I basically just wish allays were better than they are. They're already good, don't get me wrong, but There are some things that could have been tweaked to make them even better, I think. This is looking good. Oh, crud. I forgot to replant the cocoa beans. Yeah, I think the cocoa beans are going to be the hard part. Cocoa beans are going to be the one that it's going to be hard to remember to replant them. Because they don't replant in the same way as the other stuff. I also wish that we didn't have to break the crops and then replant them all by hand, so to speak. Nice. Some of the mangrove trees are already growing. Oh, jeez. Little guy was trying to give me some saplings. Whoops. Hi, you. Goodbye. Again. I don't see any cobblestone up here, so I'm curious what happened to the cobble that was in that wall that we didn't pick up. Because I know we missed some. We had to have. Oh well. It may not be that big of a deal. I wish that grass could be spread like Nylium can through Netherrack. You can spread grass like you can across dirt, like you can Nylium along Netherrack. Oh man, this place would fill up fast. Yeah, I perfectly placed it. Oh, nope, 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 nope. I was one block off. Whoops. I want to get the sheep thing figured out as fast as possible. So, let's actually set up the grass in here, or dirt, I guess. I'll have to make observers as well as dispensers to really make this plan for an automatic wool farm to work. So I should actually break that block too, because that's where the observer is going to be. The more I stop and think on this, the more blocks I realize I'm going to have to place in here. The more room I'm going to need for all that's going to have to go in this space. Alright, gotta think. How is this gonna work? The sheep is gonna be right here. There's gonna be glass here. Basically, there's gonna be glass in every spot there isn't sheep. Here, here, and here around each cell. Right here, there's gonna be an observer watching the sheep. Behind the observer, there will be a piece of redstone dust, or a block, on top of which will be a piece of redstone dust. And then right here, there will be a dispenser filled with shears. So I actually put that dirt in the wrong spot. So I'm basically going to have to let grass spread throughout this part. And then we'll be able to move on to the next phase. Which the next phase will probably be getting, well, I don't know. Because the problem is, thinking back, I do lack an iron farm. I'm going to have to make an iron farm before we can do anything else. So I'm going to have to figure out where another village is that I can turn into an iron farm. Get the villagers into it, and then get it set up with everything that I need an iron farm to have to make it functional. Okay, yep. So we know what we're doing with the next session. That's a good thing. And I may even leave this world on for a little while to do some AFK time where this grass can spread a bit more. But for the time being, that's going to do it for this session, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, please be sure to leave likes and comments. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Check out the About page for links to other pages with more content and ways to help support the channel. Share the channel with your friends if you think they might enjoy it too. And of course, do not forget to tap that notification bell so that you don't miss the next stream or video. With that all being said, thank you again for watching. I am JGuard01, your guide, bard, and humble host into the world's virtual and fantastical. And I'll see you all next time, right here on Guardian Studios. Bye!